Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum. I'm Dr. Ahmed Numan, and today we will discuss about precision, accuracy, types of errors, standard deviation, variance, and coefficient of variance. This is our second lecture for the chapter of chemometrics. In the previous lecture, we discussed some errors in chemical analysis and also some common parameters including mean, median, and mode. And today we'll describe the remaining common parameters, and inshallah in the next lecture we will discuss about some statistical tools. Parameter which we are going to study today is precision. So what is precision? Precision is the closeness of results that have been obtained in exactly the same way, which means it is this reproducibility of the measurement. In simple words, आप एक experiment करते हैं for example you do 5 replicates and then you have to see कि how reproducible they are. I mean आप एक experiment कर रहे हैं 5 दफ़ा, so you will get 5 different values, so they should be very close to each other because you are following the same procedure. So if you get the similar result, it means that your experiment is precise, it is reproducible, so no matter how many times you perform that experiment you will get the same data. It means your results are really reliable. But in case you perform an experiment and every time you get very weird or very different value, it means there is some error or some problem with the instrument, some mistake on your side that you are not getting the same result because you are using the same protocol, so you have to get the similar results. So precision is actually a very important parameter to determine how reliable our method is and how accurate our analysis is actually. And the most common way to determine the precision is simply performing multiple experiments, doing triplicates or duplicates, and see how close they are and how reliable our method is. And to describe the precision of a set of samples or set of data, we use further parameters, namely standard deviation, relative standard deviation, which is also known as coefficient of variation, and variance. And these actually three parameters or functions show us that how much a result differ from the mean, called as the deviation from the mean. So हम स्टैंडर्ड डेविएशन यूज़ करते हैं, रिलेटिव स्टैंडर्ड डेविएशन या जिसको कोएफिशिएंट ऑफ वेरिएशन कहते हैं वो भी यूज़ करते हैं, और वेरिएंस यूज़ करते हैं. मोस्ट कॉमनली जो है वो स्टैंडर्ड डेविएशन को यूज़ किया जाता है, जो हमें ये बताता है कि जो हमारा रिज़ल्ट आया या जो हमने रेप्लिकेट सैम्पल किए, जो रेप्लिकेट डाटा है वो मीन वैल्यू से कितना डिफरेंट है. एंड इफ़ दैट डेविएशन इज़ वेरी स्मॉल, इट मीन्स कि हमारा जो एक्सपेरिमेंट है वो बहुत प्रिसाइज है और वी आर गेटिंग रियली गुड एंड एक्यूरेट एंड रिलायबल रिजल्ट. और अगर ये डेविएशन ज़्यादा हो and then it means there is some error. So normally if we are talking about quantitative analysis and very accurate analysis on some really nice instruments, so mostly if our standard deviation is less than 1%, then it's mostly considered a good result or precise result. And if it is more than like it's 3%, 4%, 5%, or even in some cases if it's 10% or 9% standard deviation, so in such a case it means that there is some error either on the experimental side or there is some measurement or some instrumental error. That's why we are getting not reliable data. So the precision is a really important parameter to determine the accuracy and reliability of our data. Let's discuss this for diagram to have a better understanding about the precision. For example, हमारे पास ये sample है, similar kind of images you see for the shooting, जो मुकाबले होते हैं उसके अंदर, if you have to shoot the right center spot in the about two diagram, in we can see that the point are very scattered in the both above diagram. It means if you are shooting, if you consider at as a shooting plate, then it shows that the the results are not reliable, because we see a huge amount of difference. One point is here and the other one is there, and there is no certain tendency among the results. So which shows that this method or whatever, if shooting, that is not accurate. Similarly, the second diagram on the top is shows similar result, although we can see towards three results around the center, but we see that there these points are scattered, which shows that this method is, or that experiment is not reliable because it is of low precision. Next, if we come to the bottom of the figure, we see the two diagram. If we see on the right side, we see that we have these 10 points, and they're all located in the center of that diagram, and that shows that the experiment is maybe very accurate to the desired actual result, and also all the data sets are really close, which shows that it is high precision. जो दूसरा केस है जो हमारे लेफ्ट साइड पे, उसमें हम देख रहे हैं कि जो सारे पॉइंट्स हैं वो सेंटर में तो नहीं है, लेकिन एक साथ हैं. इट मीन्स कि जो आप एक्सपेरिमेंट परफॉर्म कर रहे हैं, दैट इज़ हाईली एक्यूरेट, हाईली रिलायबल, एंड इट्स रियली रेप्लिकेबल. तो आप हर दफ़ा जब भी एक्सपेरिमेंट करेंगे सिमिलर रिजल्ट आएगा. सो जो डेविएशन फ्रॉम द सेंटर पॉइंट है, दैट मे बी ड्यू टू सम कांस्टेंट एरर, और मोस्टली जो कि इंस्ट्रूमेंटल एरर होता है, और इसको आप करेक्ट कर सकते हैं. सो दिस काइंड ऑफ ये जो लास्ट दो हमारे पास एग्जांपल है, बोथ वी कॉल इट हाई प्रिसाइज्ड एनालिसिस, हाई प्रिसीजन एनालिसिस. अभी हमने बात की प्रिसीजन की, कि जिसके अंदर अब हम ये देखते हैं कि वी हैव अ डिफरेंट डाटा सेट, तो वो आपस में कितने करीब हैं. अगर आप एक एक्सपेरिमेंट 5 दफ़ा कर रहे हैं या 10 दफ़ा कर रहे हैं, तो हर दफ़ा वैल्यू जो आ रही है वो कितनी एक दूसरे के करीब है या कितनी डिफरेंट आ रही है. सो दैट शोज़ के कितना रेप्लिकेबल है आपका जो भी एनालिसिस है, या आपका जो मेथड है वो कितना एक्यूरेट है. सेकेंड टर्म जो हम यूज़ करते हैं, एक्यूरेसी. Accuracy actually the closeness of the measurement to the true or accepted value. Precision is the agreement among several results which are obtained in a different in a same way, while the accuracy is the agreement between the measured value and the true value. And mostly it is expressed in the form of error, कि कितना error है, कि actual value कितनी होनी चाहिए, accepted value क्या है, और आपके पास value जो है वो कितनी आ रही है, how much different it is. So because actual value is sometimes difficult to measure, so mostly there is some kind of acceptable value. So our experimental results are compared to that acceptable value, and we see how much error or how much deviation is over there. Accuracy is expressed in terms of either absolute or relative error, and we will discuss about these in the later slides. इस डायग्राम में हम देख सकते हैं जो टॉप लेफ्ट कॉर्नर पे है, कि जो रिजल्ट्स हैं वो सेंट्रल से जो है वो काफ़ी दूर है, आपस में भी एक दूसरे से बहुत दूर हैं, which mean it is of low accuracy because the data sets are very far away from the central value where they should be. And because वो आपस में भी एक दूसरे से बहुत करीब हैं, इट मीन दिस एक्सपेरिमेंट इज़ not accurate and not precise. So accuracy and precision both are very low. On the top right diagram हम देख रहे हैं कि जो all the points are, they are together, however they are far from the center. So अगर हम ये कहते हैं जो acceptable value that should be in the center, then this data set is of low accuracy because it is different from the central value, so from the accepted value. But because they are together, so we say it's highly precise, but it is of low accuracy. Bottom पे आते हैं, जो थर्ड हमारे पास डायग्राम है. So we can see that these all these data sets are very scattered and different from each other, but they are relatively close to the central value. They are not far from the central value, so we can say that it is of a higher accuracy, although it is of low precision. And come to the last and fourth diagram, in which we see कि जो हमारे पास जितने data points है वो सेंटर में है, which are close to the accepted value, and also that all the data points are close to each other. So That is an example of an experimental analysis where we have high accuracy and high precision. So we have both in that case. Let's discuss about some types of errors in experimental data. So we can categorize errors in a different way. So in this lecture we will also study errors in two ways. In the first part we will study the categorization into random or systematic errors, and the next we will relative or absolute error. So in case of जब हम बात करते हैं random or indeterminate error की, so they are mostly the error which are caused by some things which cannot be determined. So in such a case mostly जो आपका error होता है वो that is not large enough, थोड़ा सा error होता है but the value is scattered around the mean value. So आप एक experiment करते हैं, now you perform it for 5 times, so all the 5 times जो value है it will be close to the accepted value, but they will be different from each other a little bit. So mostly it affects the precision of the result. Mostly the result remain accurate, but its precision is actually not that good, and these kind of errors are really difficult to assess or remove. The second type of error which can be determined, quantified and removed are known as systematic or determinate errors. We can determine them and we can remove them, and these actually affect the accuracy of the result. For example, sometime if you are performing an experiment and you get the same result in each and every replicate, but it's different from the accurate value, so which means that there is some kind of instrumental error or determinate error, and that you can find and correct it. एक तीसरी तरह का एरर भी होता है जिसको ग्रॉस एरर कहते हैं, and that actually differs from both of the above types. Because it occurs occasionally because of some of the error, mostly on the part of the examiner or the experimental error. So for example आप एक experiment कर रहे हैं और उसके अंदर आपने एक solution बनाना है, और आप एक solution बनाने के लिए जब आप एक compound को weigh कर रहे हैं तो there might be some error during the weighing process. आपसे कुछ part जो है प्रेसिपिटेट है या जो पाउडर है वो गिर जाता है, या जब आप उसको ट्रांसफ़र कर रहे हैं वेसल के अंदर तो वहाँ पे जो है कुछ पार्ट जो है वो ज़ाया हो जाता है, तो उसकी वजह से जो एरर आएगा वो बिकॉज ऑफ द ह्यूमन एरर और द एक्सपेरिमेंटल एरर. सो डिपेंडिंग आपसे कितनी बड़ी मिस्टेक हुई है वहाँ पे, तो दैट एरर कैन बी वेरी लार्ज आल्सो. सो दैट्स व्हाई वी कॉल दैट काइंड ऑफ एरर एज ग्रॉस एरर. And these errors lead to the outliers. Outliers ऐसे रिज़ल्ट होते हैं कि जब आप एक एक्सपेरिमेंट को 5 दफ़ा 6 दफ़ा कर रहे हैं और मोस्टली जो रिज़ल्ट है वो सिमिलर आ रहे हैं, बीच में एक वैल्यू जो आती है वो बहुत डिफरेंट होती है, and that we actually exclude. We call it some exceptional case that there may be some error during the experiment when we perform the experiment or by the human being. So these kind of errors are called outliers, which are very different from the other results. Let's discuss about the systematic errors. Systematic errors, as we already discussed, that they can be determined, can be quantified and can be avoided, and these have a definite value and they have a definite cause, and which can be actually determined, and mostly the magnitude of error for the case of systematic is mostly the constant for the experiment which are performed in the same manner. These kind of errors result in the bias during the measurement. Bias is the actually way to measure the systematic errors. So if we have a negative sign, it means that this kind of error is causing the values to be lower than the actual value. और अगर हमारे पास जो इसके bias है वो ज़्यादा है, we have a positive sign, it means कि जो हम रिज़ल्ट परफॉर्म कर रहे हैं उसकी जो वैल्यू आ रही है वो एक्चुअल से ज़्यादा आ रही है. So we are having the positive sign. So it can be negative or positive, and both can be determined. So normally the systematic errors can be caused by 3 things. First is the instrumental error, that it can be caused by the Non-ideal instrument behavior, there is some error in the instrument, or you did the wrong calibration, or you use some wrong solution during the calibration process, or in some cases you are performing some experiment under inappropriate condition. For example, you have to perform some experiment in temperature less than 20 degrees Celsius, and you are performing an experiment at 40 degrees Celsius, so definitely it will result in some kind of error, and that the error actually can be avoided if you perform the experiment under the appropriate condition. So that's first type of systematic. Second is the method error, that if there is some error during the method of the experiment, that can also result in the error in the analysis and it can be both caused by the non-ideal behavior of analytical system. Okay, both can be chemical or physical though. And the third type of systematic error is the personal error, which are caused by the human beings from their carelessness, inattention, or in some cases there are some personal limitation of the experimenter which result in these kind of errors. However, all of these kind of errors can be determined and can be avoided. So systematic errors can be either constant or proportional. So what is constant error? So constant error mean के आपके पास जो systematic error आ रहा है, that is independent of the size of the sample being analyzed. For example, if you are using 1 ml of sample, or using 5 ml of sample, or using 10 ml of the sample, जो error है उसके ऊपर फर्क नहीं पड़ता, that the error remains constant. And in case of proportional error, they actually decrease or increase with the proportion to the size of the sample. So to illustrate this, we can say that for example आप एक sample है और उसके अंदर आप copper जो है analyze कर रहे हैं कि copper की concentration क्या है, and the method जो आप use कर रहे हैं that also is applicable for zinc. So अगर आप के पास एक सैंपल है जिसके अंदर 20 मिलीग्राम पर लीटर कॉपर है और उसके अंदर 2 मिलीग्राम पर लीटर जिंक है, सो जब आप उस कॉपर सैंपल को एनालाइज करेंगे और अगर जिंक एज ए इंटरफेरेंट उसके अंदर रिएक्ट करता है और वैल्यू देता है, सो यू विल गेट द सिग्नल फॉर बोथ कॉपर एंड जिंक. सो इन सच अ केस इफ यू इंक्रीज द सैंपल वॉल्यूम, सो बिकॉज द कंसंट्रेशन ऑफ जिंक इज आल्सो इंक्रीजिंग, सो यू विल गेट सम काइंड ऑफ more error. So that is proportional to that contaminant present in the sample. So such kind of errors are known as proportional systematic errors. Next we will briefly discuss another two types of error, which is absolute error and relative error. So as the name suggests, absolute error, it is measurement, it is the difference in the measured value and the true value. So it can be given by the following equation: E is equal to xi minus xt, where xt is the true or accepted value while xi is the experimental value. So the absolute error E is the difference between the accepted value and the experimental value. So it can be both negative or positive. अगर तो हमारे पास जो ई की वैल्यू नेगेटिव आती है, इट मीन कि जो हमारे पास रिजल्ट आया दैट इज स्मॉलर देन द एक्सेप्टेड वैल्यू, एंड इफ इट इज़ पॉजिटिव देन इट शोज दैट जो हमारे पास एक्सपेरिमेंटल रिजल्ट है दैट इज लार्जर देन द एक्सेप्टेड वैल्यू. यहाँ पे एक चीज़ क्लियर होनी चाहिए दैट द टर्म वी यूज द एब्सोल्यूट, इट इज़ डिफरेंट फ्रॉम व्हाट इज़ यूज्ड इन द मैथमेटिक्स, बिकॉज in mathematics if we use the term absolute, it means that the magnitude of the number irrespective of its sign, that whether you use minus or plus, it doesn't matter. So however here it is when we use the term absolute error, it just mean that we are comparing our experiment result with the standard or accepted value and including its sign. So it is not I mean we cannot ignore the sign. So this is the absolute error, and next let's move to the relative error. And in relative error we actually divide the absolute error by the true value. So it is the ratio of the error which can be expressed in either in the percent, part per thousand or part per million, depending कि हमारे पास जो result है उसका magnitude क्या है. So we can express in different ways. So mostly the relative error is xi minus xt, which is the absolute error divided by xt into 100%. Let's solve an example to how to measure absolute and relative error. So we have an example in which we get the result of an analysis to be 36.97 gram, and we are accepting a value of 37.06 gram. So what will be the absolute and relative errors in part per thousand? So first we have to calculate the absolute error, which is the difference between कि हमारे पास जो experimental value क्या है माइनस जो हमारे पास जो accepted value है. So in this case we got the 36.97 as the experimental value and the accepted value is 37.06. So जब हम 36.97 में से 37.06 ग्राम माइनस करते हैं, so we get a value of minus 0.09 gram, and that we can call the absolute error in the experiment. So to calculate the relative error for this one, we divide that absolute error minus 0.09 gram to the true or accepted value of 37.06 gram. And because we have to measure the relative error in part per thousand, so we will multiply it with 1000. And here you can see we have another kind of sign with the percent, so we add one that kind of circle, and that is actually the sign for thousand, part per thousand. So as percent shows in part per hundred, so this sign actually shows per part per thousand. So in this, when we divide minus 0.09 with 37.06 and multiply with 1000, so we get minus 2.4 parts per thousand. So in this case the absolute error is minus 0.09 gram and the relative error is minus 2.4 parts per thousand. Next parameter which we are going to describe here is standard deviation. Standard deviation is a measure of the amount of variation or dispersion of a set of value, and it measures the spread of the data about the mean value. So what actually standard deviation is, that it tells us about how much the values of a set of data differ from each other. So standard deviation में हमें ये पता चलता है कि अगर आपने एक सेट ऑफ जो हमारे पास डाटा है, अगर आपने उसमें डिफरेंट रेप्लिकेट्स किए हैं, सो जो वैल्यूज़ जो हैं वो एक दूसरे से कितनी दूर हैं एंड वो कितना रिलायबिलिटी है उसकी. सो इफ़ स्टैंडर्ड डेविएशन की वैल्यू हमारे पास बहुत कम आती है, इट मीन्स कि जो वैल्यूज़ हैं वो हाईली रिपीटेबल है या हमारा जो टेस्ट है वो रेप्लिकेबल है एंड वी गेट अ वेरी रिलायबल डाटा. और अगर हमारे पास स्टैंडर्ड डेविएशन ज़्यादा आती है, इट मीन्स दैट द रिज़ल्ट इज़ नॉट रिलायबल और जो वैल्यूज़ हैं दे आर स्प्रेड आउट और एंड स्कैटर्ड ड्यूरिंग द एनालिसिस. So normally it can be abbreviated at SD, but mostly जो standard deviation is it represented by Latin letter S for the standard deviation. And it is calculated by the following formula, in which the standard deviation is 1 over n minus n summation xi minus x bar square. अगर आप इसको देखें जो हमारे पास इक्वेशन है, हमारे पास S जो है वो स्टैंडर्ड डेविएशन है, देन स्क्वायर रूट में हमारे पास 1 ओवर n माइनस n 1 है. n जो है यहाँ पे नंबर ऑफ वैल्यूज़ हैं कि हमने कितने रेप्लिकेट्स किए हैं. फॉर एग्जांपल अगर हमने एक एक्सपेरिमेंट को 5 दफ़ा किया है, तो हमारे पास 5 डिफरेंट डाटा सेट हैं, तो हमारे पास यहाँ पे जो n होगा वो 5 होगा और माइनस 1, सो इट विल बी 1 over 5 minus 1. So this is actually the number of the values or data sets or number of observation. Then we have xi which can be 1 2 3 4 5. It's actually the number or the observed value. and then we have x bar, which is actually the mean value, and we take the square. So I think you guys can understand it better if we solve an example. So okay, let's move to the next slide to solve an example related to standard deviation, so that you can understand it better how to calculate standard deviation of a set of data. So here we have an example in which we have to calculate the mean and the standard deviation for a set of analytical result, and the values we are given is 15.67, 15.69 and 16.03 gram. And here you can see the solution in the following table. So we can see three actually columns here. So first is showing the xi, which is actually the experimental values we observed in these three different sets of data, and at the end of each column, which is in the last row, we have a summation of for all of the three data set for all the three columns. So first we have three values xi for xi, which is 15.67, 15.69 and 16.03, and when we take sum of all of these, we get 47.39. and first we have to calculate the mean, and if we come to the second row, there is the mean is calculated. So mean is the summation of all these values of a data set divided by the number of values, so that we actually discussed in the previous lecture. So when we sum all the three values, we get 47.39, and we divide with the number of values, that is 3, so we get the mean value of 15.80. So in the second column in the sample, so next to calculate the standard deviation, we have to calculate the difference between the mean value and the observed value for each individual value. So the difference between 15.67 and the mean value is 0.13, and then 0.11 and then 0.23. So then we will take sum of these values, and we get the 0.47. In the third column, we will take square of these values. So for the first, second and third, so we get 0.0169, 0.0121 and 0.0529, and when we take the sum of these values, we get 0.0819. So in this way we calculate xi minus x bar whole square, and then we will put into the equation for the standard deviation. We know that it is s 1 over n minus n, which is 3 number of values, because we have 3 data sets, 15.67, 15.69, 16.03. so n is 3, and then we have 1 minus 1, and on the top we have to take the square of the difference between the individual values and the mean, and the sum we get was 0.0819. so we put that value, and when we solve, solve these values, we get the result of 0.20 gram. So this is the standard deviation from for these data set. So what we can see there कि हमारे पास जो वैल्यू आ रही है दे आर अराउंड 15.7 to 16, और हमारे पास जो एरर है इसके अंदर आ रहा है, जो डेविएशन आ रही है, दैट इज द स्टैंडर्ड डेविएशन इज अराउंड 0.2 ग्राम. इट मीन्स दैट द error is not that high, so we can say that this experiment, because the value of standard deviation is low, so we can say that these results can be reliable or accurate. So this is the common practice to know the coherence or agreement between a set of data and know the reliability of the data. So this is the standard deviation is the most common actually tool to analyze our data sets and show how much accurate they are and how much reliable they are. So we have two more parameters to discuss over here. So just like हमने discuss किया था about absolute error and relative error, so similarly we have standard deviation and relative standard deviation, जिसको हम coefficient of variation भी कहते हैं. So it is similar to when the case where we have absolute error and relative error. So in relative standard deviation is actually the standard deviation divided by the mean and multiplied by 100. So that is actually expressed in the form of percentage, and we call it coefficient of variance or the relative standard deviation. It is sometimes used, but most commonly, as I mentioned before, we use the standard deviation instead of the relative standard deviation. But there are a few cases, and depending on the type of data we have, so there sometimes we also use the relative standard deviation. Similarly, another variation of standard deviation is actually the variance. It is simply the square of the standard deviation. So it actually measures the deviation of any random variable from its mean value. So it is calculated by taking the square of the standard deviation. So these are actually calculated from the standard deviation, both the coefficient of variation and variance, and that shows how important that standard deviation is, and the measurement of the error or from the deviation from the mean or the accepted values. So here goes your homework. So in the previous slides we did some examples for standard deviation and those, and now we will have some homework for you guys to do at home for your better understanding. So there is a table given in which we have 6 data set, number 1 A, B, C, D, E and F. So there are 6 different data sets. So for that you have to calculate mean, median, standard deviation and coefficient of variation. So for all these data sets, so you have to calculate mean, median, standard deviation and coefficient of variation for data set A, for B, for C individually. So आपने ये जो टेबल है इसके अंदर पहले आपने एक कॉलम को लेना है, कॉलम ए को, और आपने उसका मीन कैलकुलेट करना है, मीडियन कैलकुलेट करना है, स्टैंडर्ड डेविएशन कैलकुलेट करनी है, देन आपने कोएफिशिएंट ऑफ वेरिएशन आपने रिलेटिव जो स्टैंडर्ड डेविएशन है वो आपने कैलकुलेट करनी है. सिमिलरली फिर आपने कॉलम बी के अंदर जो आपके पास 3 पॉइंट्स हैं जो डाटा सेट है उसके साथ भी आपने ये चारों जो पैरामीटर जो ऊपर दिए हुए हैं मीन, मीडियन, स्टैंडर्ड डेविएशन एंड कोएफिशिएंट ऑफ वेरिएशन आपने कैलकुलेट करने हैं. And same for C, D, E and F. So all of you have to perform apply these 4 data set to all these 6 given data. Okay, so is same just like the last lecture. I considered the 2 books, the Fundamentals of Analytical Chemistry by Scrooge and West, and the Analytical Chemistry by G.D. Christian and Das Gupta. So you can consult these books for your further understanding, and also it will help you to solve the homework. Thank you for your patience, and I really hope कि आपको कुछ ना कुछ इसमें से समझ आया होगा. And in case you have any confusion or you haven't understand anything, you are free to ask any question, and I will be more than happy to help you out, and feel free. Thank you. Allah Hafiz.